Hey guys, today we're down at FX Fitness Gym, the best gym in Rawai, Phuket, Thailand if you ask me, and if you want the most value for your money. So today I'm gonna show you my favorite full body workout. If you only had 45 minutes to do a full body workout, this would be it in my opinion. So the first thing I do is warm up, and I do that by doing 2 minutes on the elliptical, focusing on driving with my arms. And now let's get started with the real training. So as you can see here, I'm starting with a warm-up set of shoulder press, also called military press, and I always start really light, so I'll do around 30 reps just with the barbell. And the structure of this program is going to be doing 4 major big compound exercises for the upper body first, and then ending the training with a heavy leg exercise. Okay, so overall what you will see in this video is what I would think is the best training program you can do in the shortest amount of time, where you get the most results out of it. And some days, if I want to do a big training on about 1.5 hours, depending on my recovery and also my time schedule, then I will do 5 more exercises. And if you want to see that program, head over to my other YouTube channel called Fast Coach Toby, and then just find my playlist that's about gym training. Then you'll find the video. So now we're done with the warm-up. And then we'll do the second exercise, which we will do as a superset. Because if you want to be most time efficient in the gym, you should actually do 2 or 3 exercises mixed together at the same time. But make sure it's push-pull exercises or muscle groups that don't interfere with each other. And as you will see at the end of the video, if you're training heavy leg training, it might even be recommended not to combine any other exercises, so you can catch your breath between the sets. But upper body exercises, usually it's no problem if you do push and pull supersets like we're doing here. So now we're doing pull-ups, okay? And usually I go for 10 reps in my first set. That looks like, yeah, that was about it. And then I'll take a little rest, catch my breath, before I go back and do my next set of shoulder press. And for the purpose of keeping this video short, I will just show you my first warm-up set and then the last heavy set that I do for each exercise. Usually I do around 3 working sets that start medium heavy, so going for maybe around 12 reps or 15, and then ending with a heavy set like this one, where I might just do 7 to 10 reps. And in case you wonder about my range of motion, then the reason I stop at my chin and don't go all the way down with the barbell is because I have a shoulder injury. But if I do it like this, then I can do it pain-free, which is how you train with injuries. Then you just work around the injuries, but you still get a really good training. So that's my advice if you have any nagging injuries. And of course I'm still ongoing doing rehab for my shoulder. So there we go, that was the heavy set. And then I'll catch my breath before doing the last set of pull-ups. So with pull-ups, there's no weight to adjust. I'll just do less and less reps usually in each set, getting close to failure, but in the last set I'll get even closer to failure than in the first set. And in this exercise I aim to do full range of motion. So I try to get my chin over the bar and then move all the way down, so I stretch my lats completely at the bottom of every rep, and then pull explosively to the top on every rep as well. And you can see now it's getting really hard. This is nearly failure. And let's see if I got one more. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a hard one. But this is what makes a good set on the last set, to go very close to failure, but without hitting failure actually. So that's what I recommend. Okay, so now it's time to my second superset, but this is actually a giant set because it's 3 exercises done at the same time. So this is going to be what I call squatted cable rows with ropes, which I believe is the single best rowing exercise you can do. You can get a completely different level of contraction in your back muscles if you're doing this one compared to your normal rows where you're sitting down and pulling a handle. Also, it's a lot better than bent over rows in my opinion, because here you can really get a full range of motion where you can squeeze at the top here and take a small pause, maybe half a second or 1 second pause at the top, and then stretch all the way out to the front. You can also notice my shoulders move to the front and then chest forward each rep. So chest forward, shoulders forward. Chest forward, squeeze, shoulders forward and relax. chest forward, squeeze, shoulders forward, and relax. That's how you think when you're doing these reps, and it's just completely different than the other rowing exercises, if you ask me. So give it a try if you never tried that. And now to our second exercise, which is for the rear delts and upper back muscles. Making sure that we don't neglect any muscles at the back, because it's a common mistake for people to train more chest and get stronger at the pressing movements than the rear delts and upper back muscles. And if you end up developing an imbalance between these front and rear muscles, you're gonna have more shoulder pain or have more risk of developing shoulder pain and injuries in your shoulders. And I know this firsthand because I've been very strong in pressing motions, and then I discovered that, hey, I'm actually not that strong in my rear delts. And now I've finally adjusted that, and my shoulder health is better than it was, for example, 10 years ago. So definitely a good takeaway from this video, in case you didn't know that a common source of joint injuries is simply imbalances between a protagonist muscle and the opposite antagonist muscle group, okay? Now speaking about the pressing movement, the third exercise we're gonna do in this giant set, or triple set as you could also call it, is going to be a bench press variation. And now you're probably wondering, why don't I just do normal bench press? And my answer is, well, I do love to do normal bench press, but if you do normal bench press for 20, 30, 40 years without any variation, you're gonna also develop shoulder pain and injuries. Because during the over 20 years that I have been training, I've been talking to a lot of other people that have been training for maybe 30, 40, or even 50 years in the gym. And some of these people were in really good shape and loved training. But also a surprising number of these people said that they could not train regular bench press anymore because they've simply destroyed their shoulders from doing it too much. So I wanted to include that in this video to make it an educational video as well, for optimizing longevity and minimizing injury risk. So anyways, this bench press variation, I'm warming up with 10 kilos on each side, going for 20 to 30 very controlled reps. Also focusing on squeezing the grips together at the top of the motion. Okay, back to the rows, and now we're doing my really heavy set, which is a lot heavier than the first one, but still you can see I focus on good form. And as I like to say, a quality physique is built from quality reps and quality food. Okay, so we're doing quality reps here, still doing the small pause at the top and the squeeze. And then I'm controlling the weight on the way down, not just bouncing the weight around. I'm sure you can lift a lot more if you're just bouncing and jerking the weights around, but that will just increase the injury risk, and it'll make you train other muscles than the actual target muscle that you're trying to train. Okay, so here we're doing the last rep, and that was a hard one, as you can see. Nearly failure, okay? And then we go to do our last set of rear delts. And again, we're doing 3 working sets of each of these exercises, or sometimes 2 or sometimes 4. It depends also on my other sports and how recovered I am. So my program is dynamic, meaning that if I did a lot of training of other sports and I have a gym training the next day, then the gym training will be a bit lighter than usual. And if I had very little other sports because of the weather or something, well, then I'll hit the gym harder and maybe train more than usual. But to keep this video short, we'll just show you the first set and the last set, just to see the difference between a warm-up set and a heavy set. Okay, so now we're putting on some more weight here. So we'll do 25 kilos on each side. That's about 55 pounds on each side, or about 110 pounds total if you don't count the weight of the machine. And then usually in my heavy set of pressing, I'll go for 7 to 10 reps and still focus on good muscle contraction and mind to muscle connection, because actually scientific studies has shown that having a good mind to muscle connection and really feeling the muscle that you're training, instead of just trying to go as heavy as possible, is a significant growth factor. And of course also this approach, as we mentioned earlier, has the benefit of reducing injury risks. So if you're planning to train for many years, like me, I actually plan to train for my whole life, then this is a good approach to consider. Okay, and here we're going for the last reps. You can see it's starting to go a little bit slow, squeezing out the last reps here. Oh boy, it looks hard, but we're getting to the top and squeezing. Okay, that was probably it, yep. So that was the last set of pressing and actually the last set of upper body, and now we move on to our last exercise of today, which is Smith machine squats. And now you're probably wondering, why are we not squatting normal with a free barbell? And why do I sit down instead of doing some normal reps? So the reason I sit down before I start doing my warm-up reps is to increase my mobility. And I'm basically sitting on my heels, focusing on having a straight back, okay? And now let's talk about why I choose the Smith machine instead of the free barbell squat. Okay, so over time, with over 10 years of normal squat, again, I found that mixing it up with the Smith machine actually has some benefits. So using the Smith machine has a huge benefit of making it possible to just focus only on driving the weight instead of balancing the weight. So you can really focus on applying your muscles and driving the weight using the correct muscles, so that's your quads and your glutes, instead of focusing on just balancing the weight. Because in my opinion, when you're training regular squat, I believe that you're spending most of your focus on simply balancing the weight and executing correct technique. So the benefit of doing this Smith machine variation is that you're able to spend most of your focus on actually driving the weight using the muscles that you want to train, so your quads and your glutes. Okay, so in my warm-up set here, I'm doing 30 kilos, 20 reps, and then I'll do another warm-up set because it's such a big muscle group we're training here. So in my second warm-up set, I'll do 50 kilos and then around 15 reps without going anywhere near failure. You know, that's the definition of a warm-up set, is you're doing many reps but without getting close to failure, because then you get your joints warmed up properly, okay? And now I'm getting ready for my last set, which is 80 kilos or around 175 pounds. And then I'll be going for 10 reps, okay? And usually I'll do 2 or 3 working sets. Sometimes I'll also go up to 85 kilos in my last set, but today we're just doing 80, okay? And in my heavy set, of course, I try to focus on good technique as well. So full range of motion, so get down so the thighs are parallel to the ground if possible, and then keeping a straight back, and also having correct breathing. I think when you're doing many reps in squat, it helps to not take a full breath of air and not to hold your breath too hard, so to speak, because you can build too much pressure in your head. So try to just take half a breath of air and then not over tighten your core when you're driving the weight. That really helps me make it easier to do more reps without feeling like my head is going to blow up and explode. Okay, even though that's probably not going to happen. Okay, so here we're doing the last rep and done. So done for today. And time for a high five with the cameraman, or the camera lady in this case. Okay guys, so that was my favorite full body split. If you like the video, click like and see you in the next one. If you want to learn more tools and techniques and habits that can improve your life quality and performance and well-being overall, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you like tropical island holidays, visit fitcamp5.com for my 2-time TripAdvisor award-winning training camp, where we train fitness and action sports together while learning to live a healthy lifestyle and, maybe most importantly, have fun at the same time. And if you're really serious about improving yourself, you should definitely check out my full online courses, where I share step-by-step programs on how I developed my own routines over the last 12 years as a CEO, working in 4 different countries, while being a successful competitive athlete with more than 20 years of experience in fitness and nutrition. Check the link in the description for that. And in any case, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, be awesome, believe in yourself, and see you on the next one.